we can probably capture about 40% of the household needs from rainwater. Then if we put into the street the Craig Rottleitner patented stormwater filter, we can service all the garden. So there again, you have already saved most of the water. Infrastructure is not the way to go. And then the second big question, of course, is why is the rate changing?
We'll come to that in a moment, but the government says that to create jobs and grow regional Australia, it needs to add water.
Well, I mean, yes, it's a very difficult question again. I mean, why do we need to grow Australia? And secondly, why do we need to do it via regional water, via dams? And the third point is that the amount of money that they're committing to it is not even in the ballpark. I'm involved in a project in Idaho, Boise, Idaho, in the U.S., and one dam alone, we're spending $2 billion. And also the other thing that's totally missing in this document is the marriage between water and energy. You know, lithium batteries is a very big storage. You could use reservoirs for pump-back schemes, and I've analyzed the sites in Australia, and there are many, many sites that could be applicable. So the whole document needs to have a relook, and I'm terribly sad for the Australian taxpayer to have all of this money wasted. It's totally wasted the way it's set up.
So what are the alternatives that the government should be looking at?
Well, the first thing is they should consult some experts like Mark Andridge in Western Australia. He clearly showed, Dr. Mark Andridge, clearly showed that replanting some of the trees will bring the rain back to the existing infrastructure in Western Australia, in the Perth metropolitan area. The second thing is that roof filters for rainwater should be implemented. As I said before, stormwater should be used to save not just water for the groundwater, but also remove the plastics from the ocean. So water is very important for life, but it's interconnected with energy, pollution, and so forth. And all of that is missing in this document. And the amounts of money is just totally out of whack. You know, in this modern age, if you say something often enough, it comes to truth. And the second thing, the only criteria for a politician these days is to spend money. And it doesn't matter what he or she spends it on. And that's wrong.
In terms of reforesting land that's been cleared, that would take decades to bring about a return, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, that's a long-term solution. But please remember that before the Aborigines came to Australia 60,000 years ago, all of Australia was a forest because the trees are pumps. They pump the water inland. So, yeah, you need short-term solution. And remember, in Western Australia, we have 1,000 years' worth of drinkable water stored 1 kilometre under the ground in the southwest, the South Yarragadee Aquifer. And about, 20 years ago, Paul Amadei, he was in the leader opposition, came back from his farm and announced the Liberal Party was going to use groundwater, desalination. Alan Carpenter, not to be outdone, said, no, Labour Party will do that also. And Jim Gill, the head of the Water Corp, is a friend of mine, read it in the newspaper. You know, it's about time these senior politicians get their act together and run the country in the interest of the people, not in their own interests.
You speak a lot about WA because you were a water expert at UWA for many years. Today's announcement is for 3 new projects, one in WA, one in Queensland and in Victoria.
Yes.
The one in WA is the Southern Forest Irrigation Scheme. Do you know anything about that particular project and what difference it will make?
Not much about that project, but I started my career in the Wellington Dam. But also, you know, 85% roughly of all of Australia's water uses some form of our technology that we pioneered through the Centre for Water Research. So we had contracts with the Sydney Water Board, all over Australia. So I know most of the markets, and it's not global warming that's changing the rainfall patterns in Australia, it's land clearing. So we need to have a really good look at what to do, bring back the rain, manage the household use of water. And if you go to my website, there's a detailed talk about all that. And you know, it's not just a matter of spending some money and sitting back and hoping things are going to get better.
Koala